Top 10 foods to avoid when you have an enlarged prostate. Let's talk about something that many guys deal with, an enlarged prostate. It's when that little gland down there decides to act up and cause trouble. And guess what? It's super common as we get older. Seriously, more than half of guys in their 60s and about 80% of fellas in their 70s and 80s have to deal with this annoyance. But here's the thing, what you eat can mess with your prostate. So if you want to keep that prostate happy and prevent annoying symptoms, listen up. We're going to uncover the culinary culprits that you should avoid when faced with an enlarged prostate. Number 1, red meat. Red meat, like beef, pork, and lamb, can be a bit of a troublemaker for your prostate health. Here's the deal. Red meat contains compounds that can mess with your hormones and contribute to inflammation. And when you've got an enlarged prostate, inflammation is the last thing you want. It can make those pesky symptoms even worse, like urinary troubles and frequent trips to the bathroom. I can already hear you thinking, alright, but is there any proof? Well, guess what? Some studies actually looked into it and found some pretty interesting stuff. One study published in the American Journal of Epidemiology found that guys who ate a lot of red meat had a higher risk of developing an enlarged prostate. It's like red meat and prostate problems go hand in hand. But hold on, before you say goodbye to your juicy steaks forever, remember that moderation is key. You don't have to ditch red meat entirely, but cutting back can be a wise move for your prostate's sake. Instead, opt for leaner protein sources like chicken, fish, and plant-based alternatives. Number 2, dairy products. Dairy products contain this hormone called IGF-1, insulin-like growth factor 1. It is a hormone naturally found in cows and ends up in their milk. Some studies suggest that IGF-1 can make cells in your prostate grow more. And hey, if your prostate is already enlarged, that's definitely not what you want, right? So the idea is to avoid dairy and reduce exposure to this hormone. By doing that, you're kind of putting a limit on its effect on your prostate. Makes sense, doesn't it? Now here's another thing to consider. Dairy products, especially full-fat ones, can be high in saturated fats. And you know what saturated fats can do? They can contribute to inflammation, and that's not great for your prostate health either. So cutting back on those high-fat dairy products can be a smart move. Studies have also shown some interesting findings. One study published in the World Journal of Men's Health found that guys who consumed lots of dairy, especially whole milk, had a higher risk of prostate cancer. Another study suggested that the more dairy you consume, the higher your risk of having an enlarged prostate. Number 3, processed foods. You know those conveniently packaged snacks, frozen meals, and sugary treats that are so tempting? Well, when you've got an enlarged prostate, it's best to stay away from them. Processed foods are often loaded with additives, preservatives, and unhealthy fats that can wreak havoc on your body, including your prostate. These ingredients can trigger inflammation, and as we mentioned earlier, inflammation is not your prostate's best friend. Now let's talk about nutrition. Processed foods are like empty promises. They promise to satisfy your hunger, but they're seriously lacking in the good stuff your body needs. They're like a nutrient desert. And guess what? Your prostate needs those essential vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants to keep it functioning at its best. When you're chowing down on processed foods, you're missing out on these important nutrients that could actually support your prostate health. And hey, let's not forget about the weight factor. Processed foods are often packed with calories and filled with refined sugars that can lead to weight gain. And excess weight gain and obesity have been linked to an increased risk of prostate problems, including an enlarged prostate. Number 4, alcohol. Alcohol, especially in large amounts, has several negative effects on the prostate. Firstly, alcohol loves to make you pee more, and if you're already running to the bathroom all the time because of your enlarged prostate, alcohol will turn that into a marathon. But that's not all. Alcohol can really irritate your bladder, making it hard for your urinary system to do its thing properly. And alcohol messes with your hormones too. It can throw off the balance of hormones like testosterone, which are important for prostate health. When those hormones become chaotic, your prostate can get even bigger and symptoms can get worse. Not exactly what you're aiming for, right? And don't forget, alcohol can leave you feeling as dry as the desert. Dehydration is no fun, and it can really trick your urinary system. You'll find yourself making more trips to the bathroom and feeling uncomfortable. Number 5, artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners are found in a lot of diet sodas, sugar-free candies, and other low-calorie or sugar-free products. While they may seem like a healthier alternative to sugar, they can actually have some negative effects on the prostate. Artificial sweeteners like aspartame, sucralose, and saccharin can irritate the bladder. When you have an enlarged prostate, your bladder is already under some pressure. The irritation caused by artificial sweeteners can worsen urinary symptoms like frequent urination, urgency, and difficulty emptying the bladder. Some studies have also suggested a link between artificial sweeteners and changes in hormone balance, including testosterone levels. But remember, research on this topic is still evolving, and not all studies have shown a clear-cut connection between artificial sweeteners and prostate health. However, to play it safe, it's generally a good idea to limit your consumption of artificial sweeteners if you're dealing with an enlarged prostate. We've made it halfway through our list, and we sincerely hope you've enjoyed it so far. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and ring the notification bell if you want to see more content like this. Let's move forward with the video. Number 6. Fried foods. When you fry food, it soaks up a lot of oil full of unhealthy fats. These fats can cause inflammation, which is a big no-no when dealing with an enlarged prostate. Moreover, fried foods are typically calorie-dense and contribute to weight gain and obesity. Being overweight or obese has been associated with an increased risk of prostate problems, including an enlarged prostate. And here's another thing to consider. Frying foods at high temperatures can actually create some nasty stuff. Ever heard of acrylamide? It is a harmful compound that forms during frying and has been associated with all sorts of health issues. I know, giving up fried food is hard, but taking care of your prostate is important. Try healthier alternatives like baked versions of your favorite fried treats. Get creative with seasonings and flavors to make your meals delicious. And if you slip up, don't stress. Progress is more important than perfection. Remember, small changes can make a big difference in your prostate health. Number 7. Caffeine. Caffeine, the fuel that keeps many of us going, might not be the best buddy for your prostate. Here's the deal. Caffeine is known to act as a diuretic, meaning it makes you pee more. And if you're already experiencing urinary issues due to your enlarged prostate, caffeine can make things even worse. Caffeine can also irritate the bladder, adding fuel to the fire when it comes to prostate-related symptoms. It's like pouring hot sauce on a fresh wound. Not a pleasant experience. You're probably sitting there thinking, there's no way I can survive without my daily caffeine fix. Trust me, I get it. But don't worry, there are alternatives to keep you going and support your prostate health. First off, hydration is key. Drinking plenty of water throughout the day can help you stay alert and refreshed without the need for caffeine. Plus, staying properly hydrated is essential for overall health, including your prostate. Next up, herbal teas to the rescue. There's a wide variety of herbal teas out there that can provide a comforting and soothing effect. Look for options like chamomile, ginger, or peppermint tea. Not only do they taste great, but they also have potential health benefits and are naturally caffeine-free. Number 8. High-sodium foods. When you chow down on high-sodium foods, your body ends up holding more water. And that's not great news for your already enlarged prostate. The thing is, excessive fluid retention can put extra pressure on your bladder and make urinary symptoms even worse. On top of that, too much sodium can raise your blood pressure and increase tension in your bladder and urinary tract. Also, a study published in the journal European Urology showed that cutting back on sodium intake was linked to a decrease in the severity of urinary symptoms in guys with an enlarged prostate. So, it is worth paying attention to this stuff. But how do you actually do that? Start by reading those food labels. Take a good look at the sodium content on packaged foods and go for the low-sodium versions whenever you can. Next up, get your culinary skills going and cook at home. When you prepare your own meals, you have more control over the ingredients and how much salt goes in. Spice things up with herbs, spices, and other flavorings instead of relying on salt to make your taste buds dance. Number 9. Unfermented soy. Unfermented soy contains compounds called phytoestrogens. Phytoestrogens are plant-based substances that can mimic the effects of estrogen, a hormone found in both men and women. Estrogen plays a role in regulating various bodily functions, including cell growth. However, when you have an enlarged prostate, the last thing you want is anything that could potentially promote cell growth. Some people believe that the phytoestrogens in unfermented soy can mess with your hormone balance and stimulate the growth of prostate cells. This could worsen the symptoms of an enlarged prostate or even contribute to the development of prostate cancer. Now, it's important to note that the evidence on this topic is a bit mixed. Some studies suggest a link between soy consumption and increased prostate cell growth, while others haven't found any significant association. So it's still a topic of debate among experts. But it is wise to choose the side of caution and limit your intake of unfermented soy products like soy milk, tofu, or soy protein powder. Number 10. Shellfish. Shellfish, like oysters, clams, and mussels, are packed with minerals called zinc. It is important for our body, but when it comes to an enlarged prostate, you want to be cautious. Too much zinc can actually make the symptoms of an enlarged prostate worse. Zinc interferes with the conversion of testosterone into a stronger form called dihydrotestosterone, DHT. And guess what? DHT loves to make the prostate tissue grow. So if you're already dealing with an enlarged prostate, excess zinc can amp up the symptoms and make things even more uncomfortable. That's not all. Zinc can also mess with these things called prostaglandins, which are involved in inflammation and smooth muscle activity in the prostate. When the balance of prostaglandins gets disrupted, it can add to the enlargement and make things worse. So to keep things under control, it's a good idea to steer clear of shellfish for a while if you have an enlarged prostate. I'm not saying you have to say goodbye to them forever, but it's best to limit your intake or skip them for a bit until things settle down. It's all about making smart choices to support your prostate health and overall well-being. While it might be tough to say goodbye to some of your favorite indulgences, your body will thank you in the long run. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. There are plenty of delicious alternatives that can help you maintain a healthy prostate. Consider incorporating foods like tomatoes, green tea, salmon, pumpkin seeds, and broccoli into your diet. These prostate-friendly options provide you with essential nutrients and contribute to overall wellness. Do you find this video informative or helpful? Let us know in the comment section below. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on my future videos. Don't forget to like and share. Stay healthy!